So hi, welcome to the Noise Podcast. I'm Shane.
I'm Glory.
And we're here with...
And I'm Henry from Boston Manor.
And we're asking some questions today about their upcoming album, Datura. So congrats on that, by the way. How do you feel about the response to the announcement so far?
Yeah, it's been pretty crazy. With this being such like a big project that we've been working on for quite a long time, and as part of like a wider thing, there's a lot to kind of dig into on it. And we were kind of drip feeding this whole thing piece by piece over the last few months, and it's been really fun watching people kind of slowly pick it apart. And yeah, the response has been great. It's out in a week, so we'll see.
Yeah.
I've got high hopes, you know.
Listen through it this morning. It's fucking awesome. I love it.
Thank you.
Like this project is such like a logical like evolution from what you guys did on that EP from last year that it's like it's just perfect. I'm loving this new sound.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I feel the same way. I think it was kind of incubated in that EP, and we've just tried to expand on it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And this is part one of a two-part kind of thing, right?
Yeah. It will essentially be, by the time it's done, like a double album. But this part is pretty short. But we kind of wanted it to be digestible and not kind of overwhelm people all at once, and do the Smashing Pumpkins thing and give you like 40 tracks. You know, we kind of just wanted to consolidate it all, not have any bloat in there, not have any filler. Just keep it really simple.
Fair enough.
For sure. So is there any meaning behind the album title or cover art?
Yeah. So Datura is a plant that only flowers at night. And this record's kind of set. It's a nocturnal record. It's set over the course of one night. And there's other flowers and stuff. Crocus and foxglove, song titles. So we kind of wanted to follow that theme and do that. I think a lot of people were thinking that it was something to do with it being like a psychedelic thing. I didn't even know that this was a thing until after we named the record Datura, but I guess some crazy people do use that to trip balls, but I would not suggest that to anybody. From what I've read, it doesn't sound very fun. But yeah, no, that's a happy coincidence, that. But yeah, it's the idea of it being something that only comes out at night.
All right.
And the cover, the cover, I don't know, it kind of follows on from a lot of our imagery. We're quite big on aesthetics and stuff as a band, and the visual aspects of the band. We've kind of gone for this, I don't know, we've kind of ended up doing this kind of like liminal theme throughout a lot of the aesthetics of the record, and, you know, kind of deserted scenes. But all the photography work that's been done on this record has been done by a really talented photographer called Nick Barkworth, who's from our hometown, and photographs it in the most magical way. So follow him on Instagram if you're listening to this, Nick Barkworth. I think that's his handle. He's an incredible artist, and he captures it in this kind of really unusual way. And it kind of sort of lays it all out pretty well. And when we were listening to the record, we were kind of looking at his photos thinking these kind of really feel like they fit with the music. So we followed that. The Life Pablo album covers a bit of an inspiration for sort of the layout and a lot of the stuff that we've done in the inserts and the booklets. So check all that shit out. We do all our own like record covers. Well, actually, not all of them. Our last Glue was not done by us. So tell a lie. But yeah, this one was us.
All right.
Perfect.
So can you tell us a little bit about your writing process for this album?
Yeah, long. It was sort of them and the EP sessions kind of blurred into one a little bit, you know, and we'd been writing over the pandemic and just kind of plugging away at it. And I think we did sort of, when we decided to make the next like album, we had already come up with this idea of kind of doing it in two shorter parts to make a longer record. So we kind of knew that was the direction we were going in. But it was kind of a process of kind of chipping away at it, because we came out the gate after COVID pretty strong and just started touring like as much as we could. So this was kind of made and written in between all those tours. Kind of we'd come home for a couple of months and go to the studio and then go back out again. And so we're back and forth on a lot. So I think it was done over about 6 separate sessions.
Oh, wow.
In the end. But that worked out pretty well, actually. It meant that we could kind of go away, listen to it, and we were like, that doesn't work. The song Inertia was rewritten about we recorded like 4 times. It was like a cowboy song at one point. And we were like,
I need that version immediately.
I came in the studio one day, I'd been out like sorting some problem with my phone out, went to like the phone shop, and I came back to the studio and they were trying to find like eagle sounds and like whip-back noises. I was like, what has happened in the 4 hours that I've been gone? Yeah, that was that is the other thing. You can tend to have the luxury of time on your hands and you just start to, your ideas run away with you. But I think in the long run it was cool because it did give us this distance from it and allow us to kind of come back to it as and when we were kind of free and reflect on it.
Fair enough.
For sure. So what song off this album took the longest to write, and which one is your personal favorite?
They all took a long time to write, actually, apart from Passenger. And Inertia, like I said, we went through loads of renditions of it. The song Floodlights on the Square, the second track, we wrote first, and then it just wasn't right, and we kept tearing it up and tearing it up and tearing it up. So I'd say that probably took the longest, but the intro track, Datura, that was a poem I wrote like 3 years ago. And I was just kind of had it kicking around, and I knew I wanted to do something with it, but I couldn't make it fit anywhere. But I did sort of like the idea of having an intro for the record, and kind of wanted to do like a kind of Nirvana thing. And yeah, I kind of managed to twist people's arm, and it sort of found its way into the record. But I actually had it printed on some like joggers that we did like years ago. So the lyrics can be found somewhere out there
on eBay
in some alternative kids wardrobe. Yeah, on eBay, yeah, probably. Sorry, my favorite is probably Crocus. I think it's just a jam, in my opinion.
At the beginning of the interview, we talked about how this is like kind of a double album in a sense, and you said it will be like when it's all done. So are you guys not done with the second half then?
No.
Dude.
No, I wish. No, yeah, it's it's an ongoing process, but it's sounding good so far.
Okay, that's good.
It's hard, because we're in the process of releasing this record. We're going on tour this week. I've done like fucking 200 interviews this week, and running around just trying to draw a line under this one, even though to the audiences, to their perspective, it hasn't even started yet. But so yeah, we haven't had a whole lot of time to sort of finish this next record off. But we've got studio time sorted, and we've got some tracks.
Okay, good.
Okay.
No, I mean, it's handy because this is quite a sort of like blueprinted project that we're not kind of coming in cold. Like there's a lot of concepts that were kind of like demos that were laid down when we were making this record. We were like, oh yeah, that'll be cool to kind of, I don't want to give anything away, but come back to this on the second part, etc., etc. So there's kind of like, if this was like a movie you were making, you would say we would like have storyboarded it. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah,
that makes sense. All right.
That's so sick.
So how the track list for this album come about? Did you guys write the opener be the opener, closer be the closer? Did you shuffle around, see what fits? What was that process like?
Yeah, I mean, there's a clear like opener and closer, so that was kind of always there. And then I was kind of thinking of like the interludes. I say obviously all of us were. We write completely collaboratively, all 5 of us, which is stressful and also awesome, depending on what day it is. But it definitely works for us. It's the way we've always written. But we built the interludes into it. So I think usually some projects you can get to the end and you're like, where does this go? And you have like a whole meeting with like the label and then the radio people, and then they're like, we think it should go like this, and then we think it should go like this, and you kind of go back and forth for ages. But with it being so short anyway, there was some pretty clear like, well, this is obviously going to be track 1 or whatever, because Datura flows into Floodlights on the Square anyway, so that's clear, 1 and 2, and then we knew we wanted Inertia to close it, so it wasn't that difficult really. But I think on the next project it's quite likely that it'll be a little bit longer, so we may come into those well, not problems, but it's just a part of every process really. And it's difficult because sometimes you don't get it right. I listen back to some of our earlier records and I would change things in terms of like the order, only slightly. It's normally kind of you're in a band driving to some club somewhere to play a show, and you get an email and they're like, we need to sign the track list now. I'm like, fuck. But On this one, it was very methodical and thought out, so it was pretty easy to do that.
Hindsight's 2020, and I mean, with the age of streaming, you could just do it anyway.
And that's the problem, you know, is that's what we didn't want to do on this record, was we kind of wanted to present it so that it was so short that you could digest it in one sitting.
Mhm.
So there wasn't, I mean, obviously people are still gonna, you know, there'll be songs on playlists and people still have like a favorite song they want to jam.
Yeah.
But, you know, wherever possible, we kind of want to make it easier for people to listen to it in order, because that's kind of how it was conceived.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Okay. That's fair. So would you be able to tell us where your headspace was at while you were creating this record?
Yeah, it was quite a difficult record, really. It's quite a personal record, quite a vulnerable record in a way. And I think I'm not very good at writing. I don't really like to write very what's the word? People love to use the word honest, but I find that's a bit of a weird turn of phrase for this sort of thing, because it's not like you have an obligation to, and it's not like if you didn't, you'd be lying. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I have a difficult time being very sort of blunt and very
Raw.
obvious with what the songs are about. Yeah, raw maybe.
Yeah.
And I've also always kind of preferred a level of ambiguity, you know, even from the bands that I listen to. I like there to be that kind of nuance to it where you're not quite sure what it could be about and speculation. But, you know, there was definitely some stuff that I was kind of processing while I was making this record. And I think it was really good for that, because I think, I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I'm one of those people that like to make sense of something. If I'm trying to work through something in my head, I like, you kind of work it out as you're saying it. Do you know what I mean? Like you say it out loud. It's almost like writing all that on paper and spreading it out on the table in front of you.
Yeah.
You know, kind of like making this record. It was a good way to kind of like explore a lot of feelings and thoughts that I was having and kind of work through them. So, yeah, you know, my band is super supportive of me and what I want to write about. And I'm very lucky in that respect. And I can have conversations with them as well, you know, so it's not always like I just hand them a lyric sheet and I'm like, these are the lyrics. You know? They are interested, which is nice. But making the record was a lot of fun. I really, really enjoyed it. It was one of the most enjoyable records to make, I think. I'm really excited to get back into the studio, actually.
Hell yeah, that's awesome.
Yay.
So how do you recommend your fans to listen to this album for the first time? Should they do it in the car with friends, dark with headphones on? Is it a workout album, a party album? What do you personally recommend?
Definitely a dark. It's a night drive record, or like a dark in the dark with headphones for sure. Definitely would not call it a party record, I don't think. But yeah, it's set at night. Listen to it at night. It's a little bit stormy, a little dark and stormy. That helps as well, I think. But you know, I'm not the fucking police. Do whatever you want.
Fair enough.
That's valid. So this one should be super, super quick off the top of your head. I want you to describe this album for new listeners in 3 words. No more, no less.
Autumn,
Mm-hmm.
dark,
Mm-hmm.
neon.
Neon. Okay, so dark and neon.
Yeah, like
you're out in the city with the neon lights.
Yeah,
it's
you know,
nighttime.
Reflections in the rain puddles on the floor.
Okay.
You know, like a liquor store flickery light kind of situation. Yeah. Not like you know, Vegas. Not that kind of thing.
Okay, because that's what I was seeing. Okay.
Yeah, no, not that. Yeah, crap neon, broken neon.
Yeah,
right.
Gotcha. Thank you for clarifying.
So in that same train of thought, is there a certain feeling or emotion you want listeners to have while going through the album?
I think it'd be a bit presumptuous to tell people what to feel when listening to something, you know. I think we have some pretty great listeners, and I'm excited to hear all of their different perspectives and thoughts on the record. It's always interesting to hear everyone always has a different take, which I like. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm intrigued to hear what that may be for sure.
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm. So for this question, I want you to picture you're on tour. You're at a gas station for a rest stop. You're going in. What is your snack of choice?
Oh, great question. Well, it depends on what time of day it is. Okay. But I'm like a salty snack kind of guy over like chocolate or, you know, like But then again, you know, you gotta try and be healthy on tour, and it's really difficult, especially in your country at gas stations.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say I'm gonna get like a banana, maybe an apple. I really like the kind of like big chunks of pineapple in the thing.
Yeah.
You can like Pilot or whatever. I'm gonna get a big old black coffee, huge one, not the full trucker size because that's psycho, but like the one down from that where the size of my head, that big.
Yeah.
And then I think it's got to be the jalapeno Cheetos if I'm going for chips.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That would probably be it. I think occasionally, if you're in like the Northeast, you get those like nice little cubes of like pepper jack cheese sometimes. You know what I'm
Hmm.
talking about? Like a little deli section. You get
Yeah.
something like that, maybe if I'm feeling a little bit cultured. Although actually, as I've been talking, I've just realized that I've missed out my actual favorite snack in the
Mm.
world, which is if we're in the Southeast, is boiled peanuts. It's the it's
Oh,
the
okay.
it's the fucking best, and I can never find it anywhere else. They don't. It's not a thing in the UK. People look at
Oh.
you falling out of a tree if you describe what that is. But I don't do the Cajun one. I just go the original. The big tub, the 2 ounce one. Absolutely amazing. I love it. My band hates me because I stink out the bus whenever I come on with these peanuts, but I think they're
Yeah,
gorgeous.
yeah.
Crack a fucking window, man.
Jesus Christ.
So on the topic of food, if the band was a dish, what dish would the band be and why?
It'd be a curry because we're a little bit spicy, but we're quite hearty and we make you feel good.
Hmm.
That's good.
Love it. So for these last couple questions, we're actually going to shift away from music, if that's okay with you.
Sure.
Great. So we're actually going to go straight to death row.
Boom.
So if you're on death row, what would your last meal be with a drink?
Wow, we're going into like the off menu podcast here. Okay, are we going like, what do I get? Are we going like start a main side?
Honestly, whatever you want. Go crazy.
We don't have rules because we look like assholes being like, you have to have this, this, and this for like
Yeah.
a band that
Exactly.
really
You
couldn't give a
forgot
shit.
this. Exactly, yeah.
Okay. Right. I'm gonna do to start. I'm gonna have some sushi.
Hmm.
Probably like some salmon sashimi, some soy sauce, maybe like some avocado rolls, and a cucumber maki, I think.
Hmm.
And then for the main, I'm gonna do like just the best vegetarian like Southern California tacos you can give me. Like the best, like the little food truck where it's like the little old lady and she's making like
Hmm.
just the most incredible Mexican food you've ever had.
Oh, yeah.
I want that, like little corn tortillas, some pico de gallo on there, some beans, like whatever she wants really. Like I'll let her decide, but that is probably my main. And then I'm gonna be a little bit weird. My drink, I'm probably gonna go with like I'm gonna do like a sparkling water, but just to quench my thirst, because it'll probably be spicy. I'll put a lot of hot sauce on those tacos, but then I think I would like. Do you guys know what Iron Brew is? You
I
guys don't
don't
have
think so.
it's
I don't think
soda.
so.
It's like from Scotland, but it's like bright orange and it's
Hmm.
amazing. And I'm not a big like sugary drink guy, but Iron Brew is my favorite. And I don't know how you describe it. I don't know what it tastes like. It's just sweet and bad for you and delicious. So I'd probably
It's every
probably do
soda.
that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then I don't know. I'm not a huge dessert guy. Can I be a bit weird and do like a cheese board?
Oh,
Sure.
yeah. Go for it. What cheeses do you have on there?
I'm gonna have like a very mild, like crumbly Lancashire white cheese.
Okay.
Probably like some kind of blue cheese somewhere in there.
Mm.
Maybe like a brie, like a nice brie,
Oh, a brie. Okay. All right.
like soft cheese. And then some very basic crackers. Like I don't like it when the crackers have too much flavor in them and they kind of take away from the flavor of the cheese.
Yeah. Yeah.
And sometimes they do the ones that are like biscuits, like cookies, as you guys will call them, like Hovis biscuits. It's weird, those ones. I always leave. You get like the multi-pack of crackers for Christmas.
Hmm.
They always end up in the bin afterwards.
Oh,
But
100%.
a thin water-based biscuit would be very nice, I think. And maybe a little pickle on the side, a little chutney or something.
Ooh.
I think, yeah, I'm really hungry now. I think that sounds cool.
Sounds like you just
Sounds like
crafted
a
your
plate.
your dinner for tonight.
Right.
Yes, I think so. Yeah, I think I did. Wow. I'm gonna have to call the little Mexican old lady and get her to come in.
Yeah.
She's free.
So if you could live in one fiction world for a week, where would you live?
Oh wow, one fictional world.
Hmm.
I don't know, because the ones I keep thinking of are all really like scary. I don't think I'd want to live anywhere with like dragons or something. That'd be a bit too. I've got enough shit on my plate. I don't need that as well.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. Maybe just like Rick and Morty, just because like you can kind of just walk around and see like silly stuff and zap into any different time zone and check that out. That'd be kind of fun. I guess. I don't know. It's probably a rubbish one, but maybe.
No, would you want to like tag along with them, or do you just kind of want to like observe?
If I could get a portal gun, I don't need to do their thing because it always seems a bit too hectic and stuff. I'd just
Mhm.
sort of be like, just wandering around. I think, hope, happy go lucky, not getting into any
Yeah.
too. Like kind of what Jerry would do, not get into any
No.
trouble. Just
Oh
sort of
God. Fucking
get to
Jerry.
try some nice ice cream and walk around. I think that'd be what I'd do.
That'd be good.
Fair enough.
That'd be very good.
Yeah,
So I have the honor of asking the last question. Every single person we've spoken to has actually said it is the most important question.
cool, excited.
What is your favorite color?
Oh, yellow. I think is my favorite color.
That is the best color. So correct choice.
Nice color, isn't it? Just you
Yeah,
can't feel stressed or angry when you're looking at a nice shady yellow, I think.
exactly. Yeah. It's so bright. It's so happy. It is the best color.
Exactly. The color of the sun. I'm going with
Exactly.
yellow.
Can't go wrong with it.
Sounds good. So as Gloria said, that's all the questions we have today. Is there anything that you would like to plug?
I mean, I best probably plug my record. I mean, I know we've been doing that, but it's Monday today and it comes out from Friday. So in 4 days. We've been working on it for a long time. We're excited about it, but it's kind of like sending your kid off to school for the first day. So throwing it to the wolves. But I hope everybody checks it out. Who's listening to this checks it out, and hopefully some of you like it. And yeah, we're on tour in the UK and Europe from Friday also, and everywhere else in the world next year. So hopefully see you at a show soon.
Hell yeah. All
Love
right.
it.
Well, thank you for now. That's been Henry from Boston Manor, and we have been the Good Noise Podcast.